And good evening, everybody. Welcome aboard. This is UPS Flight 116 from Atlanta up to where I am based in Louisville, Kentucky, also known as UPS Worldport. And we're going to be taking this beautiful thing up there, Boeing 747-8, the longest operating aircraft in the world. And yes, I always say this, it is 1 meter longer than the Airbus A380. So let's get everything wrapped up that we need to get wrapped up, which isn't much because I've already pre-flight the airplane. And they parked us in a way that we won't even need to push back with a tug. We'll just be able to ask for tugs to be removed, and we'll be underway. And this is also my recurrency flight that keeps me airborne with UPS Virtual. And I'll put their information down in the description below. They are the oldest virtual airline in existence, and they do everything very, very realistically. And they are partners with VATSIM, which is what we are also flying on tonight. So you're not just going to be listening to me talk, you're also going to be listening to air traffic control, where air traffic control is available. Like I said, we are all ready to go. Let's go through the pre-flight checklist here. For those of you watching by mobile device, let me zoom in a little bit for you so that you can see the checklist. Oxygen, I just tested it. It's good. Flight instrument setting altimeter. Yep, that is set. Altimeter is 3007. Parking brake, it is set. Oh, I see what they want us to do. Alright. Now the checklist. It's because we have the chalk set. We don't need them. Alright. We do need them, rather. I thought that they were already set. Parking brake set on the ICAS. Very good. Okay. Next. Before start, let's go through these. MCP, V1, V2, VR-V2, we have the V-speed set. V2 is our safety speed, and it's in the MCP at 160. In case you want to know our route, it's a very, very simple route. We're on the Varnum 2 departure out of Atlanta to the GLAZR transition, and the GLAZR transition actually transitions us into the Lethal 1 arrival into Louisville. So, that being said, NCP up here, the autopilot is set to 160 on speed. 275 is our departure per the Varnum 2 departure out of Atlanta. 10,000 feet is the maximum altitude on the SID, Standard Instrument Departure. And it doesn't look like we have any ATC here in Atlanta, which is rare for VATSIM, to say the least. But everything up there in the MCP is set. Takeoff speeds like V1 and VRP2. Those are calculated right here. There you go. V1 is 141, rotate is 148, and V2 is 160. The gross weight is 762,900 pounds. So we are a little on the heavy side for such a short duration flight, but we are good to go. Okay, CD pre-flight, we did that. Trim, 6.2. Turn on the hydraulics for that. And turning on the hydraulics, we turn on the beacon. Switch that to both. That way, if any control surfaces, I should say when control surfaces begin to move, landing gear, certain things hydraulically begin to pressurize. You don't want people near the aircraft, so that is why we do that. Trim. Now we can now that the hydraulics are set to to auto on all 4 systems. We can now move our trim to 6.2. Alright, that is done. ATC takeoff briefing, let's do that real quick. Alright, we're in Atlanta. And current altimeter is 3007. Do you concur? Yes. Alright, V1 is 141, route 8 is 148, and V2 is 160. I will be flying this way, and you will be the pilot monitoring, and you'll be on the ATC. We'll be utilizing runway 26 for departure. If anything happens prior to V1, then I will bring the aircraft to a complete stop on the runway. Assess the situation with you, run a checklist we need to do, and vacate the runway if we possibly can, and if we can't, then we'll call for services to tow us off the runway. If anything happens after V1, we will take that problem with us into the air, and we will ask ATC to put us into holding pattern, if possible, so we can mitigate the situation and go through the non-normal checklist and get everything under control. And simply return to Atlanta. And it doesn't look like we would need to dump any fuel because we are not above our maximum gross landing weight, and that is what we would do if everything just goes as planned. Then we're going to be taking out runway 26 left, and we'll be flying what's our departure? The departure as filed. Sorry, I just need to look at what double check the departure one more time. The departure is the Varlin 2. We find the Varlin 2 as filed, and since it is a RNAV precision departure, we will be Army LNAV and VNAV. Alright, however, VNAV will be utilizing our flight level change mode at first, just because this aircraft has a tendency to overspeed under 10,000 feet. Any questions? Questions or concerns? No? Alright. Takeoff and taxi briefing is takeoff to our taxi and takeoff briefing is complete. Alright. Let's get the engines up and running. And we can also ask the crew on the ground. We do not need any more chocks. We're good to go. And I always like that. I always like this FMC, the FO's FMC, to give me the progress page number 2, because it gives me the winds that I like. I just like to look over there, look over very quickly, look at what our crosswind and overall wind component is during flight. Alright, let's go ahead and change up our MFD to engines. And let's go ahead and initiate engine start. Banks 3 and 2 come off, because we're going to be doing 2 engines at a time. 4, 3. And we're going to be utilizing the auto start feature. And we simply monitor the ICAS as well as the MFD for any issues. There we go. Remember, you always want to have the nose of the aircraft pointed into the wind, or partly into the wind as best you can. If you're at a gate and you have a tug, you want to make sure that they push you, if possible, with your nose facing into the wind, especially if it's a windy windy day, or in this case a windy evening, because you do not want that exhaust going back into the engine, damage the engine. You can have an engine overheat on the on the on the just behind the N1 fan blades, and that would not be a good thing. All right, engine 1, 2 now, up and running, very good. Engines 1, 2, and we're gonna give them fuel. Again, you can do this because this is an auto start this aircraft has. If you look there on the MFD, it says auto start. It knows the engine knows exactly when to introduce fuel into the engines. There we go. There is our light off right there. And I figure since this is a short flight, why not bring you all along? Yeah, looks like it might be a very interesting night because there isn't any air traffic control online. Like I said, which is very unusual. Very unusual for that not to be the case. And we're just waiting for auto start to turn into running in green text. Running and running. There we go. Okay, I got 4 good starts. Let's turn packs 2 and 3 back on. We're gonna turn on our runway lights. Runway turn off lights, which gives me a little bit of light. It gives me a little bit of light out to my left. So right there, so I can see the edge of the taxiway. Let's go ahead and set flaps to 20, please. Thank you. And let's go back to the checklist. Alright. Ooh, camera went up and down there for a second. Sorry about that. Anti-ice. Recall. Good. Let's go ahead and turn off the APU. We don't need it. Recall is done. Flight controls. Alright, let's do flight controls here. Alright. There we go. Centered up for those of you watching by mobile device. All the way left. Good. All the way to the right. Good. Elevators all the way up. Good. Neutral. All the way down. Good. Neutral. Rudder. All the way to the left. Good. Neutral. All the way to the right. Good. And neutral. And I see the inboard and outboard ailerons are showing that they are down for a takeoff, which they are. Checklist. Ground controls. I'm sorry, flight controls check. Ground equipment is clear. Last 20, and we're ready for the after takeoff checklist already. It's like somebody is using our runway for departure. Alright, let's turn off the storm lights. And let's get moving. Storm lights are off. Taxi lights are on. And once we get on the runway, I will then activate the weather radar. There is some weather that we will be encountering as we go north. It's kind of nice to be oriented in a way that you don't have to ask for pushback. Very, very nice. very, very nice. Alright. Yeah, always remember that the center tracks, meaning those 8 center landing gear on this airplane, as long as you're under 10 knots or ground speed, they turn to help you turn. In other words, when your left nose wheel goes left, the 2 center tracks go right, and they help you negotiate these very, very tight 90-degree turns. But remember, you do have to be under 10 knots for that to happen. If by chance you are wondering why I'm not flying in FlightSim 2024, that is because FlightSim 2024 does not have a good 747 yet. I think it's going to take PMDG a while to get to that point. But that is what I'm waiting on, along with a lot of the people. Alright, we're going to hold short here at 26 right, because we do have traffic coming in. And if they're doing it right, they're landing on 26 right. 26 left should be reserved for departures. Expand our view on the navigation display. Okay, looks like he's coming in on 26 left. The one thing you need to remember when you are crossing active runways, which we are, your strobe lights need to be on, and your landing lights need to be on as well. Alright, yeah, he's definitely going for 26. Oh, sorry, he's probably going for 27. 27 left. Okay. You just never know. And technically, he should be giving his position as to what he's doing. For those of you not familiar with VATSIM, I do recommend it. If you really want to take your your flight simulation experience to a new level, VATSIM is as real as it's going to get for you. And yes, many, I should say a good number of air traffic controllers that are on here, they are real air traffic controllers in real life, believe it or not, and or they're in training for it. So if you want to fly on VATSIM as a pilot, the one thing you do need to know is you need to know how to operate your aircraft without question. No guesswork. You gotta be on top of everything. And this particular aircraft, 747-8 freighter, designed and programmed by PMDG, which in my opinion is the best commercial airliner builder for FlightSim. That's just my opinion. Here we go. There we go. You feel those inner bogies really helping you out, because this thing ends up turning on a dime. Alright. One last check. I don't see anyone coming. And I don't see anybody coming down the wrong end of the runway. So we do need to mention what we're going to be doing. Atlantic, at Atlanta traffic, UPS 116 heavy type Boeing 747. Depart runway 26 left on the run to departure. Atlanta traffic. Alright, that tells everybody what we're doing. Yeah, everybody is on the same frequency, Unicom frequency. The Unicom frequency for VATSIM is 122.80. Alright. Now, here we go. Turning right on a dime, aren't we? Check this out. Alright, lineup. There isn't hardly any wind this evening. Yeah, we are good to go down here. Double check everything. Very, very good. Alright. Oops, sorry. There we go. And takeoff. Thrust. You want to move your feet down to the bottom portion of the rudder pedals. Airspeed is live. Cross check. Gear up, please. Alright. And autopilot is going on. And we want to make sure and we get out of here at a speed whereby we aren't going to, like I said before, overspeed. Okay, we do not need airport on anymore. We do need the weather radar, however. There we go. And since ATC is not online, hang on a second here. Flash stand, please. Thank you. And flaps 5, please. Thank you. Flaps 1, please. Thank you. It's a very, very warm and muggy, very muggy evening. You can see by the low-level clouds. Not the best atmospheric conditions to be outdoors in any way, shape, or form. Let's see what the let's look at what the dew point was back there. Yeah, temperature 22, dew point 20. Yeah, not fun. Let's see, this is change. Winds up in Louisville are out of the south. It's actually warmer in Louisville than Atlanta. Interesting. All right, we've got one more. I just wanted to double check that. We have runway 17 right already plugged into the flight computer. Alright, let's increase our speed to 240. We're not to flap, well, if you look here, the PFD, we're not to flap up yet. Therefore, our after takeoff checklist is not complete. And if we look at our PFD, for those of you watching on a mobile device, if you look at the PFD, yeah, we're just not there yet. It's a very heavy, very, very heavy aircraft. And again, with such a warm temperature outside, our climb rate, which obviously affects our forward velocity, our speed, it's gonna be a slow time to get there. Okay, ATC is not on, so we're gonna go ahead and select VNAV, and we're gonna select 34,000 into our autopilot. There we go. Okay, flaps up, please. There we go. And our after takeoff checklist is complete. Get rid of the checklist. Now we can expand our nav display. See if there's any weather out there. So I just looked at the radar. We can also turn off the landing lights. As for everybody else can stay on. And it does look like Indy Center is online, so they will be contacting us shortly. When I say shortly, I mean maybe within, 23, 24 minutes, somewhere in there. Yeah, they seem to be on all of the time. Because there is a lot of traffic going in and out of Louisville, as it's our airline's headquarters, and it's also our busiest airport. No, but when I say our, I mean UPS, without question. Okay. No weather out to 160 nautical miles yet. That's interesting. Because like I said, the satellite weather showed some, weather radar showed significant rain in the area, along with some convective activity to the east of Louisville. Let's look on flight aware and get the look at the map. Yeah, it shows a little bit of rain all around, really. Some thunderstorms to the east of Louisville. So we ought to have, Chicago. That's That was like a royal mess. Got a big category, I should say a level 3, possibly level 4 storm just to the south. If you want to know, our alternate is Cincinnati. Okay, there we go, above 18,000 feet. Standard altimeter setting. Check on the backup and FO. Standard. Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, flight aware is showing weather. So we're just not quite close enough for our onboard weather to be picking up any kind of moisture. But I assume as we get closer to Louisville, we'll begin to see a radar return, indicating indicating some interesting weather. Yeah, I don't see any cumulonimbus or anything like that out in the distance. Let's look out to the west. Pardon me. I don't see any. It just looks like your typical summer evening in the south of the United States. It's just very, very warm and muggy. While we're on our way, let me show you something that a lot of people might not do. And if you're strictly a FS20 or FS24 person, you obviously do know that the 747-8 in at least in 24, the built-in EFB here doesn't really work well. So we're going to go to performance. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and begin to calculate our landing data. So we're going to go to landing, show landing. There we go. Without typing, we don't need to type in airport search and all that fun stuff. We're just going to tell it to copy the data from the FMC. There we go. Conditions. It is, let me look at that, weather rate report one more time for Louisville. We've got, remarks, a few clouds at 17, and then a few at 3, so dew point 21, so we know it's not raining, so we're going to leave it set to dry. The wind out there, let me pull it up on FlightAware. Should be exactly the same. Let's see if it is. Let's double check. Active sky versus FlightAware. Let's see if they match up. Winds 180 at 8, yep. And 24, 21 on the, yep. Altimeter 2990. Yep, that's it. That is identical weather reporting. So from the real world as well as from active sky. So we know we're getting some good data. All right, so the winds 180 at 8. And we do need to bring up the keyboard here. 18, oops, wind. 180 at 8. Temperature. What did I say? 24? Yeah. 24. Alright. And QNH is 3. What did I say? 2990. Okay. 2990. .90. And we'll be landing with flaps 30. AC will be on, AI will be off. Exit the keyboard, oops, hide the keyboard, calculate it, and because what this does, it calculates the landing information as if we're going to be there, meaning it takes the fuel burn into account. Before we go any further, let me just tee up the heading bug here. Heading 001. The one thing you want to do, and if you've watched videos of mine before, what you want to do, always, especially when you're flying on the autopilot, you want to make sure that the autopilot heading bug up here matches your current heading. So our current magnetic heading is 001, and you want to make sure that the heading bug reads 001. Alright, back to the EFB. As I'm saying, it takes into account fuel burn, how much we're going to weigh upon arrival into Louisville. Runway, the runway length, the wind, the temperature, and the atmospheric pressure, and the flaps, anti-ice, etc. So now we're going to hit calculate. And there it is, VREF 30 plus 5. So VREF 30, what does that mean? Our velocity reference for that, for the landing, is going to be 30 on the flaps. I'm sorry, with flaps at 30, our VREF is going to be plus 5, if that makes sense. In other words, whatever your landing speed is that the FMC ultimately tells you, this is just a good way to cross-check it. Right there, if you look there, oops, it went away. There we go. Dispatch landing data for runway 17 right. So this technically is coming from our dispatch office. And based on the information that we just put in, we're getting a VREF 30 plus 5. Again, that means our flaps are going to be 30. And whatever the reference speed that we're given, we need to add 5 knots to it. And so I was thinking it's going to be somewhere in the 763,000 pound regime. Sorry, 740,000 pound regime. I think it'll be a little more than that, meaning a little more burn off, meaning a lower weight. But our landing speed is going to be 156 knots. Okay. Show en route, we can do that. So as of right now, we have all off, meaning all 4 engines have a reverse. The reverse thrust is operative on all 4 engines. Brakes, let's do auto brakes of 3. That's the standard setting. And we're getting awful close to our stop for descent, so we need to look at this real quick. Legs page. Alright. Since we're landing to the south, meaning we gotta fly past the airport, we're going to redo some of the numbers here. We're not going to redo them, we're just going to plug in what it's basically asking us. So at Cobb's intersection, we're going to do 280, definitely it's a navigational fix. 280 at 16,000, so 160. Surprised Indianapolis Center hasn't contacted us yet. And we're going to be doing, let's see what it ends up spitting out here for our speed. Yeah, 247 on the speed for level. And let's do, what's the next one look like here? 11, no, not 11. 13. Alright, we'll do 130. Typically, they'll give us an assigned altitude anyway. Once we get down to that portion of the flight. For everything else, 244 is going to be our speed for Soda intersection. 11,000 on that, 110. For Louis, we're going to do 9,000, so 240 knots. Isn't being an airline pilot a blast? It's just a lot of button pushing. Okay. Rhoda. Let's see. I do know where that is on the arrival. Let's look at that here. On the arrival here. Let's look at the specifics here of the level. Sorry, it takes just a couple of minutes for this. Sometimes it takes about a minute or so for this thing to load everything up. Okay, level 1. And, alright. It looks like they might be asking us to change. Our arrival, the level 1 might be outdated. You just don't know. Set this for 6,000, so it'll automatically descend as soon as we get there. There we go. Top of descent in just a few miles. That is quick of a. Of course, we're getting a tailwind of 20 knots. That helps a little bit. All right. Let's finish plugging in everything here. And Rhoda 240, and we'll just say 7,000 is good for us. We'll call that good. And execute that. That's way too fast for that spot, so just in case. 170, 3,000 feet. I'm waiting to get a ping from the Indy Center anytime now. Let's see, here comes our descent. You can see the engines are coming back. And now, if you look at the BFD, if you look at the right, just to the right of the artificial horizon, or just to the left of the altimeter tape, you'll see a triangle. That purple triangle, magenta triangle, that is the target. That is the target of our descent, which includes our descent rate, as well as the specific, what is known as the vertical path. And now I hear the engines going all the way back to idle. Yeah. And temperature outside up here at 35,000 is 40 below 0 Celsius. And it's going to get pretty warm pretty quickly, so let's see if Indy Center is online yet. Oh, it is. And we're going to be ready for them. Their frequency is 2822. So we're all ready to rock with that. As soon as they give us a little ping, we'll be ready to switch over to Indy Center. And where were we? Oh yes, the landing en route page on the EFB. Brakes are going to be 3. Non-normals, we don't have any. That's very, very unique if you think of it. Any non-normal track, in other words, let's look at that one more time. If we had an issue come up on the MFD and it were to say, okay, there's a failure with your anti-skid system or something with your flap control, or if your flap, if you're going to be doing a flaps up landing, things of that nature, and there's more. Hydraulic issues, a jam stabilizer, which can happen. Very rare, but it can happen. We have an engine out, or an engine out isn't that big of a deal with 7.4. 2 engines out, that would be a big issue, which is why it's on the non-normal config. Anyway, that is not, we don't have any. Conditions are dry down there. And our landing weight is going to be, what was it guessing? 730, I do believe. Yeah. 730, so let's go and bring up the keyboard. 730, I think it was 733. I'll do 720 just because. Landing distance required 9,363. Landing distance available for that runway is going to be 10,000. So we're going to be coming in right on the numbers, as they say. All right. So there you have it. That is the in-flight dispatch info. Weight and balance, what does it look like on the curve? There you go. I do not have these specifics as to the numbers that go into every compartment, because it's such a short flight. On longer flights like I've done Louisville to Dubai, everything gets filled in, and because, well, that can be going into Dubai is a very, very different. I mean, you can do it that way. Complete. Now do dispatch. Show en route. Show dispatch. Calculate from dispatch. And yep, there you go. Yeah, going into Dubai, that can be a very, very different scenario. Scenario, that is. Show landing. Oh, there we go. That's how you calculate it by filling in all the necessary information. Make sure the standby frequency is 2822, which it is. Alright. And what is the altimeter in Louisville? One more time. 299 that's right. Making sure that there hasn't been an update. What we can do here, we'll go ahead and put it in a little white box. 2990. There we go. And if we look at the PFD, there it is under standard STD, 29.90 inches. So as soon as we get below 18,000, we will hit the STD button up here, right there. We'll hit the STD button, and that'll switch from the standard barometric setting, which is technically 29.92, down to 29.90. And let's go ahead and reduce our range here. See if the weather radar picks up anything here at about approximately 20,000 feet, because the weather radar is tilted down at a 2-degree down angle from off the nose of the aircraft. So you're not picking up anything at this altitude is looking down. We can increase the gain a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's increase the gain just a wee bit. See if we get any bigger. If we do get a bigger return. Yeah, a little bit. If you look there where it says KLEX, Lexington, Kentucky. So just south of Lexington, there is looks like it is a little bit of convective activity. Just a little bit. A little bit. Now, the one thing that might happen is that they might give us a different arrival into Louisville. When I say they, I mean air traffic control. And if they do, we will be ready for it. Make sure it's set up for KSDF arrivals, which it is. I have a very, very good feeling that they're going to change us over to that. Just waiting for the call. Any second now. Because we are only 93 miles away. Technically, we're still in the Memphis Center airspace, but let's just go through our checklist for a descent, and also get the approach checklist out of the way as well. Recall. Nothing there. Notes, nothing. Auto brake already set. Landing data, VREF minimum. Well, the minimums for this is going to be let's look at the ILS just in case is what they give us. Category. Let's just look at 17 right here. Minimums are going to be radio minimums. Okay, 415. That'll work. And that loud noise that just made me mess my pants. That's the Indy Center. Well, I mean, I contact them on. Yeah, I'll have to thank you for making me go and change my my pants. 2822. Yep. All right.
Indy Center, United 2410 Heavy, request climb to flight level 380.
And that was, which United calling?
United 2410 Heavy.
2410, climb to maintain flight level 380.
380, 2410.
Indy Center UPS 160 Heavy with you passing 16,200.
American 27, Indy Center. I am still about to leave your airspace.
American 27, yes I know, frequency change approved.
Let's try it again. Indy Center UPS 160 Heavy with you passing 15.8.
UPS 116 Indy Center, radar contact sent via the Little 1 arrival landing south, the Louisville altimeter 299.0.
Proceed via level 1 arrival, and we got the altimeter on 2990 UPS 160 Heavy.
Number 6 Alpha Charlie, flighting 310, vectors for traffic enter descent.
Alright. What did I say the minimums were?
Number 6 Alpha Charlie, heading 310, vectors for traffic enter descent. Number 76 Alpha Charlie, Indy Center. 1486, taxi to parking via Bravo, cross runway 23.
Bravo cross runway 23 to parking, Poglet 1496.
United 42, turn left heading at 300, join the 28 left localizer.
Left turn 330 and turn left right.
And it's heading 300 to join.
300.
Center November 331, Papa Juliet checking in, flight level 400. Hello, Twitch.
Papa Juliet in descent radar contact to 0 miles southeast of Black City VOR. Number 6 Alpha Charlie, Indy Center. American 206, cross heads at and maintain flight level 230.
The 230 across heads at 206.
It's gonna speed break in a minute.
Now the 343, descend and maintain flight level 300.
No, we have 343.
United 2410, Kansas City Center is closed for better service terminated, frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom, United 2410. Let's see it.
Number 76 Alpha Charlie, Indy Center. UPS 116, which runway would you like?
We'll do runway 17 right for UPS 160 Heavy, please.
UPS 116, expect vectors to the ILS runway 17 right approach.
We'll be expecting the vectors for runway 17 right on the ILS, UPS 160 Heavy.
Alpaca 777 Tango, cross my half at and maintain level 300.
Cross my half at level 300, Alpaca 777 Tango.
United 42, you're 8 miles from Buckeye, maintain 3000 until established on the local.
Maintain 3000 until established with localizer, United 42.
Lufthansa 343, fly heading 250, vectors traffic.
That's 252, flight fee.
United 4728, Condor maintain flight level 310. American 4728, Condor maintain flight level 310.
310, American 4728.
Number 1 Papa Juliet, clear direct Babney.
Direct Batney, 1 Papa Juliet.
FedEx, let's disregard. American 4720, are you direct washer at this time?
I am.
Alright, FedEx 2208, route amendment when you're ready, copy.
Speed, state off.
FedEx 2208, Indy Center.
FedEx 2208, go ahead.
FedEx 2208, route amendment when you're ready, copy.
Roger, ready, copy.
FedEx 2208, go to the Boston Airport, present position, direct washer, Whiskey Sierra, Hotel Romeo, Q29. Johnstown, that's Juliet Hotel Whiskey, rest of route unchanged.
Sorry, could you repeat that first waypoint, please?
That's washer, Whiskey Sierra, Hotel Romeo.
Right, we got that Whiskey Sierra Romeo washer.
FedEx 2208, read back correct. Number 6 Alpha Charlie, Indy Center, you on frequency? And number 1 Papa Juliet, descend via the SNCC 2 arrival, landing south, the Indy altimeter 2988.
Altimeter 2988, descend via the SNCC 2 arrival, 1 Papa Juliet.
Number 1450, route amendment when you're ready to copy.
Ready, copy. 1450.
Number 1450, go to the Boston Airport, present position, direct washer, Whiskey Sierra, Hotel Romeo, Q29. Juliet Hotel Whiskey, rest route unchanged.
Alright, present position, direct washer, Q29. Dryer. Johnstown, and the rest of route unchanged, 1450.
1450, read back correct. United 1423, descend and maintain level 320.
320, 1423.
Delta 1178, descend and maintain level 320. Delta 1178, descend and maintain level 320.
320, Delta 1178.
Alright, there was someone calling Indy Center, say again?
United 42, we have the localizer and short final runway 28 left.
42, winds 220 at 7, runway 28 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 28 left, United 42.
American 206, descend and maintain level 190. And unfortunately, Cleveland Center is closed. Radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
Is that for American 206?
American 206, descend and maintain for level 190. Cleveland Center is closed. Radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
Order 190 and Cleveland Center's offline. We'll see you later.
Indy Center, FedEx 2208. I do not have washer in my database.
It's Whiskey Sierra Hotel Romeo. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I got the hotel. Thank you much, FedEx 2208.
American 4728, Cleveland Center is closed. Radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, right? 4728.
Lufthansa 343, clear direct Babney, descend via the, actually correction, not direct Babney, turn right heading a 330 vector sequencing. Lufthansa 333 at 43, flighting 330 vector sequencing to Indy.
Head up, frequency, everybody, please.
208, Cleveland Center is closed. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. Over 1450, Cleveland Center is closed. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved.
Good day.
Indy Center, Delta Flight 20, is that flight level 35?
Delta 520, Indy Center, radar contact, climb and maintain level 300, turn left direct on.
Climb and maintain 300, turn left direct on, Delta 520.
Bumpy right all of a sudden.
UPS 116 heavy, descend and maintain 3000.
3000, UPS 160 heavy. Get out of this nasty stuff here. Slow it up as well. It's bumpy. Wow. Jeez. Bumpy, bumpy. Let's go ahead and do 200 knots on the... Wow. It's like driving on a washboard. Jiminy Christmas.
Lufthansa 343, maintain Mach 0.70 or less, and then 250 knots in the transition. You'll be following a prop inbound.
Mach 0.70 250 knots and people PMDG.
Slow here. Slow it up. Way too fast.
Center November C21 Papa Juliet, we're a light turbojet, we're a Pilatus PC-24.
Oh, light turbojet, that's my mistake. I guess I was mistaking you for a PC-12.
Boy, it is not letting up. We're going way too fast.
United 1423, descend and maintain to level 280.
280, 1423.
Major temperature change. I mean, big time. Big time. Flaps 1, please.
United 1423, Chicago Center is closed. Related service terminated. Frequency change approved.
Over to the dark side. Have a great night. Thanks for your services.
Dark side.
Back 777 Tango. Atlanta is closed. Related service terminated. Frequency change approved.
That's funny.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Delta 1174, descend and maintain level 280.
280, Delta 1178.
UPS 116 heavy turn left heading 260 vectors approach.
Left 260 UPS 160 heavy.
Lufthansa 343 clear direct snake pit. Descend via the snake pit to arrival. Landing south. The India altimeter 2988.
Send me the snake pit to that to snake pit pre-full feet.
And Delta 1178, Chicago Center is closed. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved.
Okay, they're gonna bring us in.
Frequency change approved, Delta 1178,
Short.
thank you.
Tight, I should say. Flaps 10, please. No. There we go.
Number 76, Alpha Charlie, if you can hit this frequency, ident.
There we go. Localizer is active.
US 116 heavy, turn left heading 200, join the 17 right localizer.
Left 200, join the localizer, UPS 160 heavy. I knew he'd bring us in short. I just knew it. I mean, tight. That's what I should say. Okay, flaps out to 20 because we gotta slow down here. There we go. And arm the approach.
US 117 Heavy, 4 miles from Bluegrass. Maintain 3,000 until established on the localizer with the ILS runway 17 right approach.
Maintain 3,000 until established. On the approach for runway 17 right, UPS 116 Heavy. There we go. Picking up the localizer. Speed brake armed. Weather radar coming off. Airport data coming on. Alright. It's a nice view of the Ohio River. See if we can get outdoor shot real quick. As soon as we pick up the glide slope, if you look at the PFD, you can see the glide slope moving down. Almost there. Gear down, please. Thank you. Final localizer and the Y slope. Let's go. Flaps 30. 158, which is actually going to be 150, 164. And landing checklist is complete.
US 116 Heavy, winds 180 with 8, runway 17 right, clear to land.
Copy the winds and clear to land for runway 17 right, UPS 116 Heavy. Should we allow it to do an auto land? Yeah, why not? I've been doing all the landings. Let's just see how good it does. We are in a crab angle. You can see how the nose is yaw to the right just a little bit. If you want to know what it looks like in landing configuration, here you go.
November Papa Juliet, expect the ILS runway 23 left approach, information Delta is current.
Alright, we'll grab Delta and expect the ILS 23 left, 1 Pop Juliet.
Lufthansa 343, maintain 280 knots or less.
2 pieces knots or less, 343.
Landing. Here comes the flare. Idling. Reverse.
Time's 3:43. Information Delta is current. Expect the ILS runway 23 left approach.
Alright,
Okay, but 2 feet up, people feet.
good to continue rolling down the runway here. Yeah, pilot.
Indy Center, American 1784, 35, northwest of the Brickyard VOR. Climate to Apollo 330, level
AP is
370.
fired up.
American 1784 in the center. Radar contact. Welcome aboard. EBS 116 heavy taxi to parking via Charlie.
Taxi parking via Charlie. EBS 116 heavy. Thanks for the ATC. You always want to let them know they are appreciated, because they are. Alright, clean up the plane, please. Thank you. Spoilers. Oh, you got spoilers? Okay, thanks. I think they automatically redirected when I got to the... Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
American 27 Indy Center. You on the frequency?
Lane lights off,
No,
please.
go ahead.
American
Thank
27.
you.
I show you way off your route. What's going on there?
American 27, it's going to say I'm on route.
And you're going to Dulles, correct?
Correct.
Well, then you chose the wrong arrival. Which arrival are you on?
I'm on the Gibbs 5 arrival.
And what transition?
The Jarlo transition.
All right, your flight plan says you were going to take the Mike Golf Whiskey transition. And that's like the normal one everyone would have taken going the route you were going on, and now you're going somewhere else.
I'll try to make a change.
All right, American 27, turn left direct FIMPA.
Turning left, direct, simple.
Number 1, Papa Juliet at Larry, cleared the ILS from a 23 left approach.
At Larry, clear for the ILS 23 left, 1 Papa Juliet.
Turn off the taxi lights. Don't want to blind the ground crew here. And that is our... That is...
Indy Center, American 27, I just changed the route to Mike Golf.
There's supposed to shut off the
Mike,
strobes.
American 27, no, don't do that. Continue where you were. The Jarlo transition wasn't able to direct FIMPA.
Let's look at Roy up here. Turned off the strobes here. You didn't get strobes. Did you get strobes? That's right, I got. We need to do an about base here.
Indy Center, good evening, Delta 1441 out of Detroit, level 220, approaching air station.
That's 1441, contact 51 miles northeast to the Fort Wayne VOR.
All the way to the left.
Now
here.
directed to Zumba.
Air 1 Papa Juliet, contact tower 120.9er.
120.9er, see ya.
There we go, right on.
Lufthansa 343
Right on the
Heavy
money.
at Larry, could the ILS runway 23 left approach.
Clear, super left at Larry, people please.
Hey, go back to unit so we don't have to listen to ATC anymore. And in fact, let's disconnect from ATC altogether. There we go. And let's do something that a lot of people apparently like to watch. Let me get rid of this real quick. And that is the cargo activity that goes on. So we will show you that. Alright. We're going to take only one generator on the APU because we take both generators, the nose door as well as the main cargo door aft of the left wing on the main deck. It will not operate. So only one APU gen. And now we can turn off the engines. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Turn off our TCAS transponder, goes standby. The weather radar is off. Those things are, some things you check off the list, some things had to come off the list. We leave the auto throttle in the arm position, believe it or not. Okay, what we're gonna do real quick, let's go ahead and request ground services. Alright, we need dual jetway, yes, ground, and air conditioning. We're going to need air conditioning very, very badly. Awfully hot down here in Louisville this evening. Vehicle side and nose request. Fuel truck. That'll be for the next flight. Bottle of water, not require maintenance. Nope. Lavatory, no. Stand, tail stand, yes. And we'll request air stairs so we can get off of the airplane. Forward and aft cargo, as well as the bulk cargo, they're on the way. Ground ops. Service vehicles, ground connections. That's all good to go. Alright, let's do as much of the shutdown checklist as we can. I think I hear the nose beginning to open. So, yep, there it is. Let's watch that. Here we go. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Pretty amazing. There we go. You can see now. You can see under the nose, on the underside of the nose, the UPS logo is there. Pretty wild, huh? All right, there's our air stairs for us to get off the airplane. the main deck aft cargo door is opening. It takes a lot of hydraulics just to make those two doors happen, especially the nose with the locking rings around the nose. Let's see how they're doing on the starboard side of the aircraft. And those are also hydraulically actuated. And the bulk cargo, which is a small door, the really small one, right? I mean, really small door that you just saw open up. That is the bulk cargo door, and you can see the loading ramp, the loading and unloading door going up. I'm sorry, not the door, but the actual the belt. There we go. I figured it out. Belt. The main cargo. They're on their way up. I mean the main cargo's good. Load and unload. Those are now up at the same level as the door. The beacon is still on. My oversight on that. When the nose is opening, what you're supposed to do is the following. If you're going to be operating the nose door, you would leave it on the following setting: beacon lower. And then once it's up, then you go beacon to off. Wing lights, we'll leave that on so people can see what they're doing. Nav, wing, and logo lights are on. Everything else is off. We can now accept external power available for both. APU comes off in a minute. It's going to turn off the hydraulics now. Let's we can go to auxiliary, which is by the checklist. And now the APU comes off. Window heat off. Yaw dampers are way up here above the FO's head. And let's see what we gotta do here. Hydraulics, those are set. Fuel pumps are off. Oh, it doesn't like the, okay, well, it wants everything to be off. Okay, that's fine. Fuel pumps, are they, okay, we'll just go left to right, main 1, 2, mains for the 3, the override pumps, and then the pumps for engine 4. Everybody up there is off, and as you can see, the checklist is now checked. Parking brake is no longer required because I have the chalk set. And secure iris off. Alright. Here we go. Emergency lights off. And what was the last one? Ah, the packs. Officially off. And there you go. Checklist. Aircraft is secured. Welcome to Louisville. Hope you enjoyed the quick little flight from Atlanta. And that is what it takes to fly the 747-8 freighter for UPS. And if I see quite a bit more videos, quite a bit more likes about this video, then I'll do more videos like this with ATC, so you can get a sense of what it's like in the real world And but anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it, because not many people are flying this study level sim anymore. And hopefully you enjoy it. And if you don't belong to a virtual airline, I do highly suggest it. Again, I'll put the website for the one that I belong to in the description below. And you only have to do one flight a month to maintain your free membership. They do everything for you. They do fleet, they do route planning, weather, you name it, they do it. And as long as you have a SimBrief account, you can set up the data link. So if it's a long flight, you don't have to program it into the FMC manually. It'll do it on its own. And the next long flight I do, I'll go through the entire process. So, as always, fly safe and frequency change approved. See ya.